We're back with Chad Karasaki, Managing Director of Marsh in Hawaii.
Marsh is one of the biggest companies in the world. What keeps you from moving to the mainland or another international division and going for bigger and better things?
Because we live in Hawaii. Certainly the Hawaii operation of Marsh is not a big operation from the standpoint of the firm. And I think to the extent that someone like me wanted to rise higher within the mothership, I guess, of Marsh, I'd be better served to be in one of the larger offices in the mainland somewhere. But, I'm a local boy. I spent way too long growing up. I was away from Hawaii from 1968 till 1990 with only a 3-year window in between when I was back. And so, I spent most of my life trying to get back here. And now that I'm back here and my family's here, we're raising our children here, I never say never, but I'm really not looking to move out of Hawaii.
What was the importance of returning to Hawaii, and how did you know it was the right time for you?
Being born in Hawaii, and my family is from Hawaii. Both my parents were born and raised in Hawaii, and so, when we were growing up as small kids, Hawaii was home. This is where all our relatives were. This is where our family was, all our friends. My father was an executive with Bank of Hawaii, and in 1968, when they were opening up the Marianas, we moved to Guam with the bank. And at that time, in 1968, Guam was not very developed, and we were going far, far away from our friends, our family, and we didn't know anybody there. And so from that moment, I think when we stepped foot on that island, even though over time we got to like it and we made a lot of good friends and relationships there, we were always trying to know when we were going to come back to Hawaii. And it just so happened to take us 9 years to get back to Hawaii. So, I spent first grade through halfway of ninth grade getting back to Hawaii, and my father transferred to Hilo to oversee the Big Island operations with the bank. And so I had the opportunity, although we came back to Hawaii, we were kind of starting all over because we'd never been to Hilo. We didn't have any family in Hilo. So we were back in Hawaii, which was great, but we were still not home, as I would call Oahu home. And went to high school there. And, after going away to college and working, when it got time to come back, I hadn't been here since '68, so it was 22 years of being away from home, and we wanted to come back. And fortunately, I met my wife in Portland. She's a local girl from Honolulu as well. So when she got done with school, we were ready to come home, and we did.
Oh, so she said, let's come back, and you said, okay.
Absolutely.
Good husband.
So was it a matter of, how some people don't want to take that pay cut. They feel it might not be the right time for transition. For you, it was just a matter of following the girl and saying, okay, and you knew that you could make a life here.
Yeah, I think we were so young and naive. I didn't really even think about the financial aspect of the move, because at that time, Portland was very inexpensive. Nice houses were going for $60,000-$70,000, and we were doing okay financially, but we just wanted to come home. And it wasn't until I think we actually came home and started thinking about buying a house and looking at the prices and trying to do the math that we went, ooh, we're going to have to think about this a little bit. And so we actually ended up living with my folks for a year after we moved back, before we finally bought our first home here in Hawaii.
So what advice can you give to expats that are in the mainland now wanting to come home?
You can't do it based on a financial metric, because you'll never come home if that's the methodology of choosing where you're going to live. Because, I even say this to people within my own organization is, we don't live in Hawaii because, it's the most positive way that we can financially have our life. The cost of living here is high. Real estate's high. Private schools are high. By the time you get done with paying the fixed cost, good thing we live in Hawaii, and I think the non-monetary aspects of our life in Hawaii, the culture, the people, the relationships, more than justify the cost. And And there's just much more to being in Hawaii than the financial aspect of it.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.